Hi, it's David and Grace again.
Hi.
It's Sunday here right now, Sunday evening. We've done our worship and church service in the morning and a bit of relaxing and shopping in the afternoon. We haven't posted anything since last week, so we'll try do some postings. What we're going to do, just going to do some commentary on lockdown, our reflections on lockdown, questions, what we've learned from lockdown. As well, we're going to chosen a few songs. We're going to start our session with a song called The Prayer by, we found a daughter and her father, not professional singers. They just started, with the lockdown, everyone's got more time. So that's one of the good things about lockdown. People got more time to pray, more time to do things like sing, and even us, probably lockdown wasn't on, we wouldn't be doing this, but it's an opportunity for us to explore our options. But without further ado, let's play the first song.
Okay.
It's I think originally done by Celine Dion and somebody.
So this song's called
Yeah.
Prayer, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so this is Father and Buddha.
Yep.
Pray you'll be alright, and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
I pray we'll find your love.
I pray we'll find your love
and hold it in our hearts.
and hold it in our hearts.
When stars go out each night.
When stars go out each night.
Remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer.
Let this be our prayer.
When shadows fill our day.
When shadows fill our day.
Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky. We ask that light be kind and watch us from above. We hope your soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer, just like every child.
Just like every child
needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, Give us faith so we'll be safe. Needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be
Thank you, the Shaw family. Just discovered them today. They posted a few different songs, and we'll end the session with another song from the Shaws. Great talent. Apparently, the father's a real estate agent, and he hasn't been. Oh, just an ad. Or skip that or pause. Yeah, he is a real estate agent apparently, and of course he had a family. They got 4 kids, and gave up music to look after the family. But there's obviously some talent there in the family, and hopefully they'll keep posting. Even though they're not professionals, they certainly got the gift. But The Prayer is a great song, great lyrics, and it's a good segue to our topic, which is lockdown and reflections on lockdown. And the prayer brings up the issue of safety, security. And we know the whole point of quarantine, lockdown, is safety and security. And there's been discussions, because we're gone from level 4 to level 3, on how fast we should proceed to the next level. No criticisms to the government. They've done the best they can. However, its opinions differ on how fast the level changes should happen. I think whether it's in New Zealand, Australia, or other countries in the world, the things you have to consider in terms of lockdown is like a siege. You know, you're surrounded by this enemy and you're locked down, and it's affecting your economy, it's affecting food supplies, and at what point, when you're under siege, and you can read about sieges, even in the Bible, there's times when Israel and other countries have been under siege. At what point does the pain of defending against the virus or a siege, because it's weighing, tips over? So there's so many people who have lost their jobs or other issues, sickness, that the scale changes. And that's the real question. Hopefully, I know I've got friends who have lost jobs in this lockdown. You know, domestic violence is also an issue during lockdown, and but it's a weighing thing. Governments, people, us, we have to weigh what's more painful. Is the lockdown more painful and the consequences of that, or the issue surrounding having to do the lockdown, is that more painful? For me, the underlying issue is not, and again, just my 2 cents, you don't have to listen to it, but maybe because I'm ex-military or whatever, I always have a security framework or mindset or perspective in that, which is more secure? Is destroying your economy more secure, or stopping a virus more secure? And it's good to look at other countries, because I had a look at, as you can, Sweden. Sweden never locked down their businesses. They decided, look, we are going to lose some lives. We do have to face this epidemic, but the cost of locking down the country is much more in terms of death and pain than the cost of locking down a few clusters. We've got 16 clusters, and great, again, I commend the government. They've identified those clusters and they've locked them down. We've had new cases, but they all come from those clusters. In terms of the border where the virus came from, they've locked down the borders. So we've secured that. We've secured the clusters. but we're still living with the pain of lockdown. Now, I commend the government for securing the borders. I commend them for securing the clusters and monitoring the new cases, all coming from the clusters. So the pain of the people losing jobs, even when we come out of lockdown, that's not going to change for some. Because of what's happened, many people will still have lost their jobs and other health issues too. I know people who can't go to the dentist. You know, people are in pain for a variety of health issues, and all these other health issues are really important. Some of them, the number one, if you didn't know, the number one killer in the world is cancer. The number two is heart issues. And so is this one virus affecting those who need cancer treatments, those who need support with their heart issues, and there's a variety of other issues, health issues. So, you know, that's what you got to weigh. They're not going to listen to me. They're going to make their own decisions. Hopefully the government will make wise decisions, not just in New Zealand, but every country. But as they weigh these things up, then they decide, okay, now is the time to go back. Now is the time to unlock the pain, the other pain that's there. Because of the lockdown, the scale has tipped. Personally, for me, the scale has tipped already. I reckon we should have come out of lockdown and back onto level 2 this week, tomorrow. But again, that's just my 2 cents. That's from my own weighing, but I think every individual, every family, whether in New Zealand or other countries, everyone has to weigh for themselves if your family is starving, let's say if you're in a third world country and you got no food, stay in lockdown or go get food. Even in the Bible, I remember there was a case in the siege where some beggars were starving at the gate of Jerusalem, I think it was. And they said, what are we doing sitting here? Let's go to the enemy camp and look for some food. I mean, what's the worst? We're going to die here at the gate? Or we go to the enemy camp and look for food? So that's the kind of things they were weighing. What's the worst case scenario? And and what are the options? Anyway, it's not for me to tell the government what to do. That's their decision. But I was just trying to show you the issues individuals, families, cities, nations are weighing up to make those decisions. Like I said, I commend our government for making some good decisions in terms of lockdown, but I hope they don't drag it on too long. Right now, they got goodwill. If it goes beyond the 2 weeks that they said, that goodwill, I'm sure, will begin to run out, not because people hate the government, but because people have got other issues. They got to feed their family. They got to take care of their health. They got to school their kids. These issues far outweigh a few clusters. Again, they did a good job, but there is a point, a tipping. And if they were smart, take the goodwill, take the good work, but you hold it too long and it'll tip against you. And what was goodwill for the government will turn into anger and rebellion and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's just my perspective. Grace, I never even asked you. You might have a totally different perspective. I don't tell Grace what to think. She thinks for herself. Have you, in terms of what's happening here, how do you weigh things?
Well, I have to say that it's actually a very difficult decision for all the leadership, not only for New Zealand, it's actually for leadership around the world, because it does, I think New Zealand right now has a very, fairly good number. Our confirmed cases or the death are pretty, compared with other countries, pretty low. So part of me thinking, that I agree with you, because a lot of people actually waiting a safe time that they can open up again, a lot of business being affected. But on the other hand, I think this is a complex issue. for everyone to think of. So, my 2 cents is really, we need to pray for the government. Those they are on in the leadership position. The only thing I sometimes wonder is, we don't, I'm not sure if I'm thinking too much at this time, but very often what we see is only part of the political agenda, you know what I'm saying? So we really need to think of God to guide our leadership, our country and other countries' leadership in dealing with this pandemic. Looking back in the songs, very good father and daughter presentation. This is actually our wedding song. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember. That's a
yeah, but I think the essence of it is, we're looking at, we're offering the prayer like a child, with our genuine trust to God, and believe only God that we can trust, and believe God is the only one can guide us. I think wonderful song for everyone, in the time of loss, particularly this time. We're locked in a facility, our home or our house, but doesn't matter, we don't have the feeling of lost, right? So I think spiritually we do need to have that guidance. Maybe we can say a prayer. Yeah.
Thanks for your comments. Yeah, we'll pray for the country, and then we got another song from the same father and daughter, A Million Dreams, which talks about the potential that's out there. And let's also, as we prepare to be unlocked, and whenever that happens, it's good to look for the dreams, the potential that's out there to rebuild or to carry on, because we need strength, courage, and wisdom to rebuild and to carry on.
Since you're talking about the, what is the song's name again?
Million Dreams.
Million Dreams. You mentioned about it represent multiple opportunities out there. I just remember one, the Chinese word for crisis, in fact, is also come with opportunities. So in God, the future is always opportunity, because our God is an eternal God. Yeah.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity of lockdown, to get closer to you, to come to your altar, to pray for others, to pray for our nation, our deliverance. And Lord, as we head towards level 2, level 1, and a total restoration of normal business, I pray, Lord, that you help us to see those opportunities, to catch the dreams, to rebuild where we need to rebuild, and to take our place, to find a better place, to make our nation a better place. And I remember reading that somewhere in the Bible. So I pray for our government, all parties, Lord, will have the wisdom and the courage to lead us to a better place. But especially, Lord, lead us to you, because ultimately, no matter how successful a government is, if they don't worship you or follow you, Lord, then we lose, Lord, because ultimately it's in you that we find our peace and our strength. In Jesus' name we pray. So if you can,
Amen.
just put those on.
Yeah. So we're going to share the screen again.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and there's a lot just support the Shaw family. They've put quite a few songs on during lockdown. So it's great, because if it wasn't for lockdown, they wouldn't have put so many songs on. So enjoy this Million Dreams.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before. But if feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, just say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams, a million dreams.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Wow, that's a really good
We're
song.
gonna make.
Thank you, Shaw family. And as the song says, there's a million plus dreams out there. And as we come out of lockdown, as we prepare for coming out of lockdown, all the best. There's lots of unknowns, but as long as God is with us, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Just wanted to make a short comment. You know, the songs mentioned about dreams and home. I think dreams and homes are really the two very important things for us now. You know, I prayed and I wish everyone will be encouraged that, yes, we're in a lockdown time, but don't allow the lockdown to take away our dreams.
Yeah.
And believe that the lockdown actually provides us a time that we can spend more precious time with your family.
Anyway, happy dreams.
Okay,
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.